Hello, FlossTube. This is Deborah, scienceknitster. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch and knitting and whatever other crafting I've been up to. This time it's mainly stitching. I have a little bit of knitting at the end. And sometimes I talk about sciencey stuff at the end too. Anyway, if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new, I hope you enjoy today's video. So let me just dive in. It's been 2 months since I've recorded a video. I actually had plans to record last month, but for some reason this fall, my fall allergies were really bad. And I have cough asthma, and it triggered really bad cough asthma. I was having coughing fits every few hours, and it's like, yeah, I had, gathered everything, and I was like, I just can't do it. And on top of that, it just made me really tired. And I had a lot going on work-wise. So it's like, you know what, I'll just wait. But I finished the major part of a big project that I needed to get done by the end of October. I was able to do that, and I still have some things I need to finish up for that, but the bulk is done, and so that's a bit of stress that I no longer have. But now I have to catch up on things like grading papers, because I gave exams last week, so I had to give them priority, and now I have assignments I need to catch up on, so I'll be doing that this weekend. Anyway, I do have a few finishes, and I actually, after I gathered everything, I figured out I actually had stitched on more things than I thought. Sometimes it was not very much, but I'm going to show them anyway. So here we go. This morning I'm having a green tea latte. I use that matcha that you can use for smoothies and stuff. I just I heat up some almond milk, and then I stir in a teaspoon or so in it. I like it because there's no sugar. Okay, so first, my finish. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this, but this is Jane Hardy by Hands Across the Sea. I stitched it on 36 count ballet slippers by Fox and Rabbit, and I used the DMC, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I personalized it, as you can see, because it doesn't say Jane Hardy, but yeah, I've been kind of doing that with my samplers, either putting the name of someone in my family or my own initials or something like that. But I just love all the little animals at the bottom. I love the colors. This is much brighter than your typical sampler. For some reason, I've been attracted to the bright samplers this year. So I started this one back in April, and my plan at the time was to finish it that month, but that house and all that grass was a little more than I anticipated. Okay, so that's my finish. And I do also have a start. I'm just gonna lay this back here because I don't want to fold it up again. I obviously have not ironed it, but just the way it is. Let's see I wanted to show my new start next. So I actually started this yesterday. I got several patterns and kits from Pigeon Coop, Canadian designer, last year, like in November, I think. He's actually just released some Christmas designs. You can get kits or PDFs of them. Last year, the Christmas designs. I think you could only get a kit at first, but they're available by PDF now. That for those of you that are returning viewers, the cardinal that I stitched in July was his Christmas kit last year. Anyway, he's got cute stuff, especially if you like nature themed things. So this is Autumn Owl, or Hibou de l'Automne. Excuse my high school French from many years ago. Anyway, so I thought this was very, not only does it have autumn in the name, but it just had a really fall feel for it. And I felt like stitching something fall that wasn't dark or Halloween or Thanksgiving, which actually I will also be showing you something that I'm going to be getting back to this month. So this is my start. I started it last night. Not very far, but so, Autumn Owl by Pigeon Coop. So this is on 14 count Aida. I'm just using the kit. It came with DMC. He packages everything very nicely, and it's all like in paper packaging. So, yeah. So I decided not to use thread drops because it's all nicely arranged right here for me. Okay, so that was my new start. So what have I been stitching on? So after I finished Jane Hardy, I decided I really needed to get back to Rose Ada Featherstone, which was last year's stitch along for the Our Sampler Years group on Facebook, and I always seem to be a year behind. This was an exclusive with Hobby House Needleworks in upstate New York, and I am stitching it on I think this is Antique Lace by Seraphim, if I remember correctly. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. And I'm using the Hobby House's, what did I do with my little thing? The Hobby House's overdye. I do like to do my own overdye conversions oftentimes for samplers, but I thought it would be interesting to see how someone else did it. So I'm trying to remember how far along I was last time. I think this is new since last time I filled in some of the flowers. I started working on this motif. So I'm thinking I want to try to finish this year, but I've got a couple other things that I really want to finish this year for personal reasons. So I'm not sure I'll be able to, but once school is out for winter break, I should have a lot of stitching time. So I just might have to spend my time doing all cross stitch all the time. And I forgot to show the threads. So here's the overdye conversion. So another rather colorful sampler. Okay, so let me let's stick with the sampler theme. So another sampler I've been working on is this one by Whilst Iris Naps, Mary Gibson. Very pretty. This was an exclusive through the it's a group on Facebook, and I always forget the name of it. Home something. Oh, let me look real quick. Sorry about that. I should look these up before I get on here, but I always forget. Okay, where's my Facebook? Go to my groups. Homespun needlework, and it says cross stitch and sampler. So I think it's Julie that runs it. She arranges exclusives with different designers through different shops. And I usually don't actually order. You have to order the whole kit, and a lot of these they'll come out like within a year. So this came out in the spring, I think, or maybe it was summer, I forget. But my understanding is that this will be that Christine will release Wild Cyrus Snaps will release this sometime next year, so other people can get the pattern. So the fabric is Thornfield by Needle and Flax. The model was stitched on 36 count. I decided, I don't remember why, to do it on 40. Although 40 has become my go-to. It was 36, but excuse me, excuse my slurp. It was 36, but lately, for some reason, I just like stitching on 40 more. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just gonna fold this over. So I haven't made huge progress, but I did make some more progress on the border, obviously. And I put in some more of the alphabet. I forget, I have a mistake in the placement of the alphabet. I think it's down too far or up. I think it's down too far, the top alphabet, but I'm just going with it. So, but this is really pretty. I like how it's coming out. And the threads are all Weeks Dye Works. So this is, I'm using the called for that came in the kit. Beautiful, beautiful sampler. I do like Christine's samplers, but for some reason, I haven't collected a lot of them yet. So I was really pleased to be able to participate in this one. Oh, and some bling came with it. Okay. So that's it for like formal samplers. So what else have I been stitching on? So obviously those, you know, I didn't stitch a whole lot on any of those. Well, except for Jane Hardy. Okay. So I guess maybe what I did is I got a little bit done on a lot of things. So in September, I wanted to start stitching sort of fallish things. And I love sunflowers. This was a gift from my friend Susan the first year of the pandemic. It was something she kitted up for me. She was in the Cross Stitch Quarterly club with from Fat Quarter Shop, and saw, you know, got this, and when she was done with it, decided to kit up one for me. So thank you, Susan. I am still working on it. So I worked a little more on the sunflowers. I'm starting to fill in some of the stuff on the sunflower. And then I didn't want to just like finish the sunflower and then have only letters left to stitch, because they can be kind of boring. So I started on the E. So I hadn't started the E before I picked this back up. I think I might have actually picked it up in August. I can't remember. Anyway, so I actually made some good progress on the E. I may work on this a little bit this month. I kind of think of sunflowers as summer and fall. So okay, so that's that. And then actually in early September, before the official change of the season, I actually got this out that I started. I'd have to go back and look when I actually started. This is a box, one of Lizzie Kate's Boxer Juniors. I don't know if they're still available. If they are, it would be through 123 Stitch, but this one's called Summerlicious. And I have, do I have all the other ones done? I know I have Winter not just done, but fully finished. Susan fully finished it for me like years ago. And I finished the Spring-a-Lily, I think is what it was called. I think either in 2020 or 2021. And then I started this one last year, I believe. And I still haven't finished it. I got it out thinking, oh, I should finish this before the first official day of fall. But then life got crazy. I think that's when I started getting bad allergies. So here it is. So I can't remember what I had done. I don't think I had the flip-flops done, and I don't think I had the word summer completely done when I picked this back up. Or maybe I had summer done, but I didn't have these. I think I got just like, I just didn't feel like stitching that sun. That's the only thing. And the little bees are the only thing I have left to finish on this one. So I will definitely finish this one next year. During summer. And then I can fully finish it. The winter one is just fully finished as an ornament, and I still need to do the fully finishing on the spring. I just need to pick up some mat board. I probably have some somewhere that is the big enough size. Okay, so basically in September I worked on that a little, just one day, 1 or 2 days. I think it just over a weekend. And then I worked on the home, and then I worked on, and home, I forgot to say, that's on a 28 count. I think it's either a linen or a Lugana. I think it's linen. And it's just what was called for. And I'm using the called for DMC that came in the kit. So I stitched on that. I stitched on Rosetta Featherstone, a little bit on Mary Gibson. And then in October, it was time for Dark October. So I took out Casting a Spell by Blackbird Designs and worked on a few more of the motifs. So I'm stitching this on a 30 count. This was, okay, so I've had this for years, like since it came out. And it was just, and if this intrigues you, it just was recently re-released. A lot of people picked it up then because they missed it the first time. So I'm trying to remember when this came out. What's the copyright date on 2011? So I had it at the time. There was a cross stitch shop in Austin, and I would go up there since when I lived in Texas previously, a long time ago, like 20 years ago, we lived outside of Austin. And so I would go up to visit my friend Susan, and we'd go shopping. And that shop was selling a kit, and then they were going to do a finishing class. I couldn't get to the finishing class, but I have all the stuff. I have the box, and I have the kit. Well, she kitted it up, the shop kitted it up with not the called for fabric. It calls for Weeks Gray, but this is Cappuccino, which I actually like a lot. So this is 30 count, which is what was called for. Okay, so what did I work on during Dark October? I had this started, so I finished that, and then I also did this motif here. So that's what I was able to get done during October. There was actually, between not feeling very well and having that major project looming over my head, as well as my regular day job, there were weeks where I hardly stitched at all. Like there would be like most of the days during the week, I just didn't get a chance to stitch, or just didn't feel up to it. Oh, I need this. So, oops. These are the called for colors. Very fallish. So I have a few more motifs to finish, and then I can start doing the finishing to put it in the box. I need to paint my box, so I need to figure out what to do for that. So that's casting a spell. Okay. And then, let's see, what else did I stitch on during September? Yeah, so I stitched on, I did do a little bit on Mary Gibson. I think I did a little bit on Rose Ada. Let's see, make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, mainly my stitching time, what little stitching time I had was on casting a spell. A little bit on homegrown. I did put in a few stitches on that one. Okay. Then, so we're just getting into November, and it is time for Black November. So I am, oops, I had already unzipped it. I'm actually working on, excuse me, I don't want to show the chart. La Calavera Katrina by Modern Folk Embroidery. So I pulled this out. So I live in South Texas, and a lot of folks here celebrate Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. So it's basically both All Saints and All Souls Day. My understanding is that at least some people on November 1st, it's for the children that have passed, and then on the 2nd, it's for adults who have passed. Anyway, you see these kind of sugar skulls and everything at Katrina's. So for people paint their faces, have a parade. So I started this in November 2 years ago, I think. Haven't gotten very far because I usually only work on it around Dia de los Muertos. But here is my Calavera Katrina. So I had the words, and basically this is what I've gotten done the last 2 nights, in between other things. So I'm not sure how much longer I'll work on this. I definitely will work on this on the 13th for dark stitching. And I'll probably work on it some more this month. I have to do a lot of counting, so I have to be fresh when I pick this up, because I discovered I already made a mistake over here, and I missed, actually the mistake is back here. The A and the C are actually supposed to be touching like they are here. I am not going to take that all out, but I may take out this and the A and just move it over a stitch, because I was looking at it and it's a symmetrical design. Normally I just fudge It's a symmetrical design, and the way the middle lines up, because I was thinking, well, I could just put some extra stitches in the middle, but then I'd have to be doing too much fudging, and my brain can't handle it. So I think it'll just be easier to take this out, move the A over one, and then restitch that. That's not that many stitches. So that's probably what I'll do. And I should probably do that before I forget that that's what I'm going to do. So I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Legacy 36 count, and I chose to use Weeks Onyx is my black. And I don't have a thread bed for this because it's just one color, but I do keep these cute scissors that I have. They feel like they're cast iron, but they probably aren't. Maybe they are. I'm not sure what they're made out of, but it's a cat. There's a tail. These are so cute. They're actually not all that functional. They're not, or maybe they've just lost their sharpness. So I've had them for a while, but I thought it was perfect for this. So in it went. Okay, what else? Oh, yes, this. So I didn't actually do any stitching on this, but this is one of the, for those of you who are returning viewers, you might recall that I have stitched several of Bent Creek's Ubers, and this is the Uber tree. And I'm not actually stitching. Last time I went for a pedicure, I needed to take this snowman out because there's no way to fudge around him. He belongs over here. I put him in the wrong place like 2 years ago. So, and I'm actually gonna go later this morning, so I'm gonna try to finish ripping him out. And so I can stitch on this in December. See if I can actually have another finish. So I finished the pumpkin, Uber Jack or Uber Pumpkin. It's got two names. I finished Uber Valentine. I finished Uber Shamrock. I finished Uber Egg for Easter. And I haven't fully finished them. I just finished the stitching because I keep going back and forth about what I want to do with them. Like originally I was planning to make little wall hangings, but it's not like we have a ton of wall space. You know, and I also have, you can probably see, I also have quilts, and so I was actually thinking, we have this big couch and it's got like one pillow on it. And so I was like, oh, I could just do a pillow. And if I do it the right size, I don't even have to fill it. You know, I could use a pillow form. So that's what I'm thinking. Some of the quilting YouTubes I watch, they're always making pillows. And so there was one that I thought, oh, I could use that for my Ubers. And then I would just have a big old couch pillow that my cat would probably want to curl up on. But so that's my plan. And actually, one of the things I want to do this month is finally get around to organizing my sewing area. So for those of you that are new, or maybe you're returning but you have forgotten, until January of this year, I was actually working in a different city than where our house is and where my husband has his business. And so while I was living in down on the border of Texas in Brownsville, my husband took over the room that was my sewing room for his business, which is farming. He started off growing flowers, but he also grows a lot of vegetables now too. So it became his seed starting facility. We still need to move that out of there to the first floor of our house, to what is currently our guest room that has too much junk in it to actually have a guest in it, and actually has also become his mushroom growing area. But I want to move all his stuff into that room so I can have my sewing room back. But in the meantime, I have taken over the loft for my stuff, but I still haven't completely unpacked everything. I was down there for 6 years. So I haven't completely unpacked everything and organized my sewing area upstairs in our little loft area outside our bedroom. So I still need to do that, but I'm going to get to that and then do a lot of fully finishing in December, especially once school is out. I teach at a local community college. So anyway, teach biology. So hopefully I'll get a chance to work on this also in December. So let me put that aside. Okay, so that's all the actual stitching I've been up to. I did want to, I got this out the other day because it's November, so it's time to get back to Turkey Trot by Bendy Stitchy. And so this is where I was as of last year. So I'm using the called for DMC, but I decided I had seen this beautiful, let's see, what did she call it? Indigo fabric that Luminous Fiber Arts dyed several years ago. Oh, that's not the true color. It's looking kind of purpley there, at least on my screen, but it's really more of a, it's kind of like a light navy, but with more greenish undertones than the purple that is showing there. Anyway, I decided that would be perfect for this turkey. So last year I got a lot of the, guess you want to call it the pumpkin coach done. So I want to make some more headway on this this month. So I got it. I'm planning, my stitchy time today is going to be working on this. Oh, that's 36 count, and the called for threads, all DMC. And I think I might have rated this for something or other. Let's see. I always put notes to myself. Oh, okay. Yeah, B5200 has been borrowed for something else. And, oh, some other things that need to go back in here. Okay. So I may need to go raid some things. get back. Some of them some of the things there that I said I borrowed colors out of this for actually are finished, so they should have gone back in, and they apparently did not. Then I have a thread bed for this one. Oh, there's the B5200 did come back. Okay, good. And here's the thread bed that I'm using. So I'll have to find a needle minder to use with this one. Just get one of my generic needle minders. So there's the threads. So that's going to be today's stitchy time. Okay, well, with all the stress of bad fall allergies, trying to finish up a big project, even though I had been pretty good not purchasing much, because I am trying to save up some money so I can like do a retreat with my friend Susan, I went a little overboard the last 2 months, really more the last month. Last 2 months, month and a half. Anyway, we have some purchases. So, in no particular order, I'm just going to go through the pile. Okay, so a lot of these, I did 2 big orders with Kitten Stitcher. I forget why, but I did. Oh, you know what it was? A part of it was she had a bunch of fabric, and then somehow I missed that she had this exclusive with Hands Across the Sea. This is Rachel Sheard, 1900, age 82. So I've been on kind of a small samplers kick lately. So this is a great small sampler, and it only has 4 colors. I'm sorry, 8 colors. So I may end up stitching this one in the near future. Although I need to start another sampler, like I need a hole in the head. But, and then of course I had to get the Book of Days. You know, this might have been what started the whole thing. She was doing pre-orders for Book of the Days. And I think hers was the first email that I got announcing that someone was doing pre-orders. So I was like, yes. So I used to get it from my local shop that closed last year. Which actually they wouldn't have been local anymore anyway. They would have been 2.5 hours away. Which is how far away the shops in San Antonio are. Although I'm not sure there is still a shop in San Antonio. Yeah, so that was, okay. And then in addition, in that order, I got, this is my first graham crackers. This is 40 count ragamuffin. And I think people have talked about this as a nice one for samplers, so I thought, it's not, it doesn't have a ton of modeling, a little bit. It's coming out darker and more gray than it is in real life. It's a nice tan with just a little bit of variegation or modeling to it. And then this is, I've been wanting to get some more extra designs. This is 40 count baby sheep. And it's actually, in real life, it's a little more, got yellow undertones than that. Again, not a ton of modeling on this one, a little bit, but not a ton. So I think actually, now that I think about it, well, it's more yellow than this ballet slippers. Ballet slippers actually looks tan compared to it. But yeah, so it'll be nice for a sampler that's on a lighter fabric. And I think I actually got it for something in particular. And when it came, I'm like, what? I remember thinking I wanted this for a particular reason. What was it? Oh. I really should write these things down. I actually have a notebook that I used to keep, you know, I would jot stuff like that down in. I still have the notebook. I just don't take the time to write it down anymore. Okay, next in the pile. This is actually quilting, but it's in the pile. So I'm actually doing, well, I'm collecting the designer mystery from that quarter shop this year. I did purchase it. Have I sewed any of the blocks? No. I also did their charity one. Did I sew any of it yet? No. Maybe this summer. I need to get my sewing area. I need to like find a place I can set up my ironing board and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so several weeks ago, late September, somehow I don't know if it came up in my feed on YouTube or somebody recommended them. Stitchy Friends. I watched Stitchy Friends YouTube, and they said, we're going to have a stitch along with this year's Wee Santa. And I've collected a lot of these, and for some reason, I don't know if I did buy it and it didn't get where it's supposed to be. And so now I have 2 of them, but I didn't have last year's in my stash that I could find. So and then there was a few others I was missing for various reasons. I picked up Wee Santa 2023. This is super cute. But did I join the stitch along? I was going to, but I was too busy, and I really wanted to finish Jane Hardy, which I actually did in September. So now I don't remember why I didn't. I think I decided that I just had too much on my plate. But I may stitch this year. Part of it was I'm thinking I have some stand-up Santas, and I want to make like a whole Santa village someday. So I had been thinking of taking these Wee Santas and also the Lizzie Kate Santas and at least turning some of them into stand-ups, like maybe stitching them on 18 or 20 count. So like this is actually on 20 count linen. I think it's 20 count. I'm pretty sure it's 20 count. Or on like Betsy Ross, which is kind of like an Ada, but it's higher count or lower count. So it's like 9 or 10. Anyway, maybe Betsy Ross or Heather Field or something like that. And so it would be bigger, but then I was like, well, it would be too wide if I stitch all the flowers. So like, do I stitch these flowers or do I stitch those flowers? And like my brain just couldn't handle it. So I was like, we'll think about that later. But I think it would be cute as a stand-up, like maybe just those. But I mean, I like the whole composition, so that was going to be hard. Some of them won't, like this one. Well, it could be a little squat stand-up. You know, do the whole. Oh, sorry for do the whole thing. And be more like a little. Anyway, some of them would be better as a pillow, like a bowl of pillows or something that could be next to the Santa Village. So I got 2022 because for some reason I hadn't picked that one up yet. Now, this one I know I hadn't picked up because, I'm sorry, I cannot do Orange Santa. Can't do it. But I wanted to complete my collection. I figured once I own it, I can stitch whatever color I want. So that bad boy's gonna get a red coat, not orange. Can't do it. It offends my sensibilities. Sorry. And then I didn't have 2016 or 2015 either. I'm not sure why. So I picked these up from 1-2-3 Stitch. Just the charts. I thought about getting, like, you know, when I was thinking about doing this one, the 2023, I thought about getting threads. You know, I have plenty of fabric, but I said, nope, that's enough. Just get the charts, add it to your stash of the Wee Santas. Okay, what else? Okay, then I made a second order. Something's got out of order. Then I had to make a second order from Kitten Stitcher. Why? She had this. It's just re-released. Blackbird Designs, Bringing Good Cheer. This was actually, it's number 3 in their Christmas Sampler series. I have Feliz Navidad that I need to finish this year. Haven't stitched on it, probably since early in the year. Anyway, I have the other 3. I could not find this one when I was picking up. So I had Feliz Navidad. I got the other 2, which I don't remember the names of. And I couldn't find this one. But it's been re-released just recently, and Kitten Stitcher had it, so I was like, I need that. Well, at the same time, this came out. Okay, so am I a sucker for anything Christmas? Yes. Do I have more Christmas stitching than anything else? Yes. Do I have enough place to put all my Christmas stitching if I actually FFO'd all of it? Probably not. Well, maybe. My little tree is almost full. I don't like putting my ornaments on a real tree, so I have a fake little tree that I put them on. But I have also, like, I'll hang them around the house on doorknobs. And I've also, in the past, I have a garland that we have two stories that I put around the banisters and then hang. So I could, if I did a lot of them as ornaments, I might have room for all of them. But there's some really pretty things in here. So I decided I needed to have peppermint and holly, even though I really don't need more Christmas. But there's some really cute stuff in here. I mean, come on. Or even, oh, this one, right? Holly Manor. It's just too cute. You know, birds, flowers. Anyway, then of course, she had just gotten in some Picture This Plus. So I had picked up some doubloon several years ago, and I was saving it for His Eyes on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. I had 36 count, and I ended up rating it for a sampler that, like, I have like maybe 20 stitches in now. Anyway, I decided she had doubloon. I was like, if she's got 40 count doubloon, I'm gonna get 40 count this time, because if you've seen anybody's, or if you've stitched it yourself, you know that His Eyes on the Sparrow is huge. And I think, you know what, put it on 40. It'll be a little bit smaller. And like I said, 40's been kind of my go-to lately. So, and then she also had some Velt, which I had tried to order for something or other. I forget what. A couple years ago in an order I was doing with, I forget who, and it turned out they didn't actually have any, like, there was something wrong with their inventory system, and so no, they replaced it with something else. But I've been wanting some, and she had some, so I decided to get, I think she didn't have any 40, so I got 36 or whatever it was that this was for. I think it's for a blackbird. Pretty sure it's for a blackbird. Called for 36, and I wanted to stitch it on 36. So that either she didn't have 40 or a big enough size. No, I think she didn't have 40 left, or I don't remember. Anyway, 36 count Velt. Picture This Plus. Oh, speaking of fabric, anybody knows where I can get my hands on some vintage sand dune by Lakeside? Let me know. I need it by January. I would order some from Traditional. I might just email Traditional Stitches and see if they have a piece in, in the shop. They'll order it, but it'll take like 4 or 5 months, because I just they just sent me some light exemplar that I actually ordered in June, July, something like that. It was part of another order. Anyway, okay. So I'm collecting the Country Cottage, what are these called? Boardwalk signs. That Quarter Shop has a monthly ship on this, auto ship. So I decided to do that. And so I've gotten 2 shipments since my last FlossTube. This is Beach Boardwalk. Or they're both Beach Boardwalk. This is, yeah, Beach Boardwalk. So this is Boardwalk Sign. And this is Souvenir Shop. So I'm still trying to decide. I'm probably going to stitch these all in a row. Oh, I should check her website. She might have a border for them. They do that sometimes. You know, Bent Creek was always really good about doing that, like with their snappers. Anyway, this will probably be a stitch next summer. They're really cute, pastel-y. I have very eclectic tastes, obviously. Okay, then. Is that stunning or what? Martha Walmsley. My Hands Across the Sea. This is an exclusive through Hobby House Needleworks. It's beautiful. I have no idea when I'm going to stitch it. So plus I didn't want to spend the money right now. I decided to just get the chart. But they have full kits. You can kit it up in DMC, a Veriswa, 103. I'm not sure what else. Yeah. But they have, the model was stitched in 103. They also have the Veriswa, Soie d'Alger, and the DMC conversions. I will stitch this someday. I love that bird. Or maybe I'll just stitch the bird. Who knows? But not anytime soon. So why buy the whole kit? Okay. I saw this. I forget where I saw it first. But Abby Topknot, or is it Amy? I think it's Abby. I'm on a bunch of email lists. She had sent out an email saying that either she had this or she was pre-ordering it this was for the needlework market or whatever they call it. I think it's is it the online one? I forget. Anyway, it's for designers and shops. And mermaids! So I had to have it. I wanted to kit it up and start stitching it. And I love that fabric, although, you know, it's really hard because oftentimes the way the fabric photos isn't what it looks like in real life. And the name of the fabric is, what is the name of the fabric? I want to stitch the big one in case you didn't realize. It is called Nor'easter by LFA Linens. It's on 40 count, and it is charted for DMC, except for, I think it's, what is that? Except for one Weeks Dye Works. Oh, the ocean here. Oops, here. I guess that's actually land. Right here is Tarragon in Weeks. But I love the lighthouse, the mermaid. This one's really cute too, and so is that one. I might just stitch all of them. So I need to get some of that fabric or find something that's similar. I can't tell if it's supposed to be a blue or a gray. Might be a blue-gray. I don't know. What do you think? Does anybody have Nor'easter? LFA Nor'easter? If you do, tell me what color it looked like. Is there a DMC that is close to? Could you let me know? So I might actually have something in my stash that would work. But it's more gray than blue. Anyway. So, one last purchase. Oh, no, actually two. Okay, digital purchase. This is Harriet Hay by, Mill on the Floss, but she has combined all her businesses and it's now Tabby Cat for everything. Oops. So there it is. So this is the sampler that's going to be the stitch along for our sampler years. And I've decided this year I am going to start it and stay along. So even if that means not finishing something, like I was thinking, my next thing after I finish Rose Ada's, I really need to get on this year's stitch along. Elizabeth Mary, I forget. Anyway, and it's another Hands Across the Sea. I have started it and I've got a little bit of progress on it. I probably have it nearby, but that's okay. But I've decided I want to actually stitch along with everybody in the year that they're stitching it. I got kind of behind because the first time I joined the stitch along, I joined it like in September or October, and they all started in January. That was Mary Dawson, which I'm really happy with how that turned out. I did my own overdye conversion. Anyway, this is charted in DMC, I believe, but there's a conversion out there by, I'm gonna blank on it. Actually, I even got my little thing started. Did I write down whose conversion? Tiger Lily. She has a YouTube channel. I think she's on Instagram. Yeah, she's on Instagram also. She posted her conversion on Instagram. She converted it to overdyes. So at least I have her conversion written down. I need to get, I have most of the overdyes. I need to get a few more. No, actually, I'm pretty sure I have that one too. Anyway, so I'll see if I like her conversion. I'll use it. I need to pull all the DMCs and compare. And sometimes I kind of change things up as I'm stitching. Like I might decide, oh, that doesn't go as well as I thought it would with the other colors. So I do edit as I'm stitching. I did that on a couple of things with Martha Dawson when I was doing her. Okay, last but not least, are you going to the Jingle Ball? I hope so. And if so, please introduce yourself. So last year, I was getting ready to move. It was the end of the semester. At my old job, I was chair of my department, so things were just crazy. There's a lot to do at the end of the semester. So I had joined the Jingle Ball. I registered, but I knew I wasn't going to have time to take any classes. So I didn't sign up for any classes. Didn't even try to sign up for any classes. Didn't even really pay attention to what classes are going to be because I knew I wasn't going to have time and I didn't want to be sad. So the weekend of the Jingle Ball, I was actually here rather than down in Brownsville. I forget why. I was probably trying to bring stuff. I was coming up like every other weekend trying to bring stuff up. But anyway, I was here. And I did get to watch a lot of this recorded stuff. And I did I signed on like Sunday morning. It was supposed to be over. But there were still people at a stitching table. And I think it was Catherine Needleberry Stitcher, and I forget who else. Forgive me if you were there, and I have forgotten. Yeah, so I hung out for a little bit with folks who just didn't want to like go home, so to speak. So this year, I was like, I'm going to take at least one class, and I'm just going to I'm going to make sure I have stuff done. I'm all caught up on my grading so that Friday night, I don't have anything on my plate. I can just enjoy the Jingle Ball. So that is what I'm doing, come hell or high water. So I signed up for the Blue Flowers, Janine's Candy Cane Biscornu, because I want to learn how to finish biscornus. I've not ever stitched a biscornu, but there are several that I would like to. Like Barbara Anna has one of Frida Kahlo that I'd really love to stitch for a friend of mine. Anyway, so I was like, this will make me sit down and learn how to finish a biscornu. So I decided to sign up for this one. And I think there's still some classes you can sign up for, a lot of them. So you can sign up at when you registered for the Jingle Ball, all the courses were released this year. And you could sign up either with a kit, which is what I did for this one, or you could sign up for PDF. And that was the option for folks who are overseas for most of the classes. I think pretty much all the ones that are PDF only, the sessions that are PDF only, you can still sign up for. And there's one I'm thinking about signing up. I don't know if I'll actually tune in at the class time, because they're going to be recorded and you'll have access for like, I forget how long, 30 days, something like that. Because I'm thinking about signing up for Kathy Haberman's too. But like Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts had a really cute one. But it's a circle finish, and I know how to do that. So I decided not to sign up for that, even though her ornaments are really cute. I'm assuming at some point she'll release them, and I'll just purchase the chart. Anyway, so I did the kit version and so it comes with the paper pattern. That's the fabric. I forget what count this is. Might be, I think it's 32. And it came really, really nicely packaged. Janine did a really fabulous job. So I'm not gonna like unbox this and show everything in there, but because it's, you know, it's like it's either walnut shells or lizard litter. I forget which she said it was. And then like the threads and the buttons and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm really excited about that. I hope I'll see some of you there. Like I said, please introduce yourselves. Please like and subscribe if you don't already. It's like everybody says that and I feel stupid saying it, but it would be nice. Knitting. Oh, and one of the things I worked on, of course I don't have right here, but I finished. So these socks, I forget when I started them. Before the pandemic started, I remember that. I started these to go with a shawl that I had knit many, many years ago by the same designer. These are Irish Girly Knits Dottie socks. So, and I knitted them in hazel knits. This is Bobbin's Nest Blue. This color is no longer available. It was a special run for a shop that no longer exists. So it's a nice blue color, light blue, sort of, yeah, light blue. They're looking a little gray, more gray than they are in real life. Anyway, so I've actually worn them once because last Sunday night, the temperature dropped 40 degrees overnight. We are finally getting back up to regular temperatures. It's actually quite pleasant this morning. It was in the high 60s, low 70s. It's supposed to get up into the low 80s today, which is more normal for this time of year. Anyway, so Dottie socks. Really happy with these. So yeah, and it's the fingering weight yarn, for those of you that are knitters, fingering weight yarn that is it's a cashmere silk nylon blend. They will be nice and toasty when my toes get cold. So that's knitting. I was really happy to get those finished. I do have a little bit of a science corner. So you may have heard that this fall, that hurricane that hit the west coast of Florida also seemed to have pushed a bunch of flamingos up into the Midwest. Like they were as far north as Michigan and Wisconsin. Well, apparently they're making their way back south. And we've had 3 flamingos hanging out at a nature preserve about 45 minutes from here. And so, of course, my spouse, he's big into birding. He, like, as soon as they were reported, he had to get over there. So fortunately, he saw them right away. And so last Sunday, normally like every other Sunday, we go for a walk on the beach. And so we decided we take breakfast, eat breakfast, and then walk on the beach and do a bird count. So we decided, since I hadn't seen the flamingos, we would go see the flamingos. So we had breakfast on the beach where we normally do, because it's on the way, and then went out to Port Aransas, is the town that has the nature preserve where these flamingos are. So they were way out there. There's a big tower. So we went up the tower. We actually helped some other people find them. Did see them. In my binoculars, which aren't as expensive as my spouse's binoculars, they just looked like sort of orangey pink blobs. So he let me use his binoculars, and I actually could see that they were indeed flamingos. There were only 2 of them that day that we could find. So there's 2 adults and 1 immature. And I think the immature one isn't quite as bright. But once you found where they were, you could actually find them with your naked eyes because they're just so bright compared to the other birds. So there were 3 American flamingos. I saw 2 of them. And as far as I know, they're still hanging out. So if you are in the coastal area of Texas and you've never seen flamingos, you can go to Charlie's Pasture Nature Preserve South. Go up on the tower and look out, and you should see them. Hopefully they'll be closer in if you do that. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my stitching and my purchases and hearing about the flamingos. And I just want to end by saying, please take time to be kind to yourself and always be kind to your neighbors. Bye.